Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one about Deshaun Watson.
Hey, Dave, I'm calling in. You know I love the show. This is Cassius, the quintessential Cleveland Browns fan. So I want to talk about how long Deshaun Watson's suspension is going to be. I'm glad he settled the cases. I kind of knew all along that it would have to be a settlement. But this is what I'm saying first. A lot of people are going to say Deshaun Watson is guilty because he settled. And they're going to say that he said he was going to fight this vigorously to clear his name. But here is a story of caution. Sometimes it's the wise decision to go ahead and settle because you're risking too much by taking it to court. So that's why Deshaun Watson did that. Now, I think that the NFL is going to suspend Deshaun Watson for 10 games so that when he appeal it, they can go down to 8 games. They're not going to give him 8 because then it will probably get dropped down to 6. So they're going to give him 10 games. And then once he files his appeal, it'll drop down to 8. Either way, I'm glad things are moving forward. If Deshaun Watson is only suspended for 8 games, we will still make the playoffs and we'll be rolling real strong once we come back. Go Browns!
Cassius always barks at the end of his voicemails. We appreciate all of the voicemails. Mary Kay, again, we've talked about nobody knows the length of the suspension. I think one of the things that by settling 20 of them, it's a first step towards possibly being able to move beyond it. And it eliminates the likelihood that he was put on the commissioner's exempt list, which is basically the paid leave, which could have been on the table if all of those things were still pending, I think.
Well, actually, Roger Goodell took the commissioner's exempt list off the table at the owners' meetings in March after the initial grand jury failed to indict him on 9 criminal counts. So the lack of criminal indictments was basically what kept Roger Goodell from placing him on the exempt list, which, as you mentioned, is a paid leave of absence. So the only thing left on the table now is a suspension and or a fine, and that suspension can be for a finite number of games, for an infinite number of games, indefinite suspension, or there's one step up from all of that, and that's banishment from the league with an opportunity to apply for reinstatement at a certain point after certain conditions are met. So it's really anybody's guess the way this is going to go. They could do an indefinite suspension while things kind of play out a little bit, but now that the 20 suits are settled, maybe they'll put a finite number on it and just say it's for the 2022 season, and then they'll fight it and try to get it knocked back to 10 games, 8 games, or whatever the case may be. It's hard to say if he'll play in 2022, but I know that they will argue hard for that.